I'm Cody Piscitelli. Just because something bad happens doesn't mean you can't enjoy the good things in life. I'm 31. I raced motocross, thought that was going to be my life, trained every day for it. When I was 19, I was training one day, went off a jump wrong, crashed, and broke my back. Ended up a T4 paraplegic. I remember going up to the jump, and then I remember laying there on my side. And I remember vividly thinking, why are my legs so comfortable? They felt like they were laying on pillows. I couldn't figure out why. I had, fortunately, someone come up to me who was at the track that day. He came up and said, your back is broken. You're gonna have to have it fused. You have a pinched spinal cord. You're gonna wake up tomorrow after surgery in an incredible amount of pain, but you're gonna be fine. That kept me grounded in the moment, and I said, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I initially thought. Maybe everything's not quite as scary. After a week in the hospital, I got transferred to a rehab center where I spent 4 weeks learning how to live as a paraplegic. I couldn't work the jobs I was working. I couldn't do any of the hobbies I did. I couldn't snowboard, ride BMX, ride motocross, of course. My whole world came down, and I thought that was it. I'm paralyzed from the chest down, so I have absolutely no use of my core. Snowmobiles, ATVs, dirt bikes, not in the cards for me. And ended up, we were given a 1600 car, so a single seat Volkswagen desert race car from a buddy. It was built in the 80s. The suspension was built in the 80s. It was not good. My dad worked for months on a hand control setup for it because it was a manual transmission vehicle, had a handlebars in it, hand clutch, thumb throttle, and then a hand brake that did all 4 brakes. And it was amazing and really cool. And I got to get out back in the dirt and play for the first time. But unfortunately, a 16 car is rough on your back. And that car needed a lot of work and a lot of money put into it. So ended up getting this Can-Am. I wanted to push myself and push the car as hard as I could. Ended up finding a local racing series out in Broadview, Montana, the Yellowstone Off-Road Racing Series. And I didn't really know anything about the side-by-side racing world. I met a lot of friends through it. I have actually 2 good friends that have been mentors of mine that are also paraplegics. Robert Campbell and Chris Blaze, who are true racing legends. Chris he was the first American to podium Dakar. He raced motorcycles for factory KTM and factory Honda. Was outright true racing legend. And then one day training for the Vegas to Reno race in 2007, I believe it was, he crashed and broke his back and ended up a paraplegic. Robert, he didn't make it quite as far in the motocross world, but he also crashed, broke his back, ended up a paraplegic. So when I started looking at this Montana race, I reached out to them. They gave me so much information, what I needed for the car, not just to have a competitive race car and to have a comfortable race car, but how to adapt it for hand controls. And the hand controls in here are nothing special. It's the same kit I have in my road car that they taught me how to use when I was in the rehab facility. They're off the shelf. One of the big disadvantages of running with hand controls, unfortunately, driving with one hand on the steering wheel, not a problem in a road car. Because like I said, these are road car hand controls, same setup I've had in everything I've driven. My left hand on the controls itself, on the brake and gas, right hand at about 3 o'clock on the steering wheel. And it's fine for the most part. It takes a lot of grip strength. By the end of races, my hands are so cramped. My thumbs always hurt. In the middle of races, my hands are going numb. I have to let go and kind of like palm the wheel. My biggest fear with it is that when I'm in ruts, sometimes I'll hit something, some soft dirt or root or rock. It'll rip the wheels over to the side, which will spin the steering wheel really quickly. And I'm always afraid of it breaking my thumb. So I generally try to grab kind of around the wheel, but unfortunately that doesn't yield to good grip strength. And if the wheel gets ripped out of my hand at 80 miles an hour, it's a big crash and we're gonna get seriously, seriously hurt. On tight corners, I start here, on right-handers especially, I get here and I run out of arm. So I get a quarter turn out of the wheel. And so I have to like hook my left thumb on it while on the throttle or brake with a pinky and then re-grip really quickly. And it's a mess. Ended up coming to this race here in Vegas, the Mint 400. Last year as just a fan and helped with a friend who was racing and went, I think I could race this thing. I think it's tangible. We're not gonna be competitive. We're not gonna be fast. I've never driven anything really in the desert.
Hey guys, Trevin here, Gearshift Garage, and we're here at the kickoff party for the Mint 400. The Mint 400 race takes place in Nevada. We're here on Fremont Street. It actually starts in Primm. It's a 400-mile race known as the Great American Race. Started in 1968 as a promotional thing for the Mint Hotel, and it has evolved to one of the hardest, most challenging races in the United States. And so we're here for it. Welcome.
Not just attend these races as a fan, but just to one day race one. And whether I made it a mile or 100 miles, I would be ecstatic. Even 3 years ago, I would have absolutely no idea that I would be in a car like this out here. It's been amazing, just getting to this point. And yeah, we ended up driving 20 hours down here. Dale, who was my co-driver at this one, I threw some temporary hand controls in my dad's truck. He had to lift me up in there. I drove for, I don't know, it was like midnight to 4 a.m. or something when we pulled up to our house here. The trailing arms, we found big cracks in them, had to get those fixed. Found a shop that did it. And then noticed some other stuff with the car last minute, despite spending the last 4 months working tirelessly on this thing. We had the whole group there, realized we were short pit passes, realized we needed more gas, we needed extra wheels.
Pit, are you gonna do driver change?
Gonzo pit, half race distance.
Okay.
So,
Do you know what Gonzo Pit looks like?
no.
So Gonzo Pit's going to be really dusty and it's wide. It's like a dark orangish brown. And the pits are going to be, I think you're going...
We're doing clockwise.
Is it backwards?
Clockwise.
From the way you went last year?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to come in, you're going to cross a dirt road, and you're going to go right into huge whoops that go into the Gonzo Pit.
Yeah.
And then boom, you're just going to see, it's going to look like an airport runway strip. And all the pits will be on your left. To whoever's over in that pit, it's critical that you tell them exactly, or hey, we're 4 or 5 pits in, 5 or 6 pits in.
We went into it with the expectations of it being intense and horrible. Everyone who lives here and who races here says this is the roughest they've ever seen it. So we went in just with the goal of trying to finish. We said if we finish, we'll probably be near the podium. And I started the race. There were immediately 4 cars that totaled within the first 2 miles. We ended up sitting on the starting line for 2 hours before we could go, which not ideal, especially as a paraplegic who starts feeling weird after sitting in the car after a set amount of time. So that was not great. But ended up taking off side by side because we ended up taking off 2 by 2. The car next to me, I let him go. I said, go brake. You can go as fast as you want. They took off. We got out on the dry lake bed. The car's a stock tune. It's got a stock limiter on it. Cars in our class blew past us. We got out into the desert and into the rough stuff, and we started seeing one by one. Broken car, broken car, broken car, upside down car, upside down car. And just said, let's keep it together. I backed down the pace, and the first 100 miles, which is the first lap, I just went slow and steady. There were times where cars were passing us. We passed a lot of cars too, which was a new experience for me because I'm used to racing with just side-by-sides. This was the first time racing with trucks and having to get past them, and they take up a lot of space. But
thank you. Hell yeah, crush it, buddy.
I had no idea where we were in the class. Got to the remote pit Gonzo where the other driver and my wheelchair was. That got driven out. And when I was getting out, they told us we're in second place. And I was like, whoa, that's awesome. I hope we can just stay there. And Nick, the other driver, got in. He took off. We're watching the tracker and realized he's only 10 minutes out of this thing. Let's go get the leader. And we radioed him where he was, said, go get him, buddy. And he was terrified of hurting the car. He knows it's my baby that I put everything into. And I got on the radio and said, push that thing, let's win this. And that's what he did. He ended up catching the car, passing them on course, walked away from them, and we won by 8 minutes. One of my biggest takeaways from this journey, not just of getting into racing, but just as a paraplegic and how my life has been since the accident, is that if you can't do something, adapt, be creative. Whether it's trying to fit into a bathroom when my wheelchair doesn't fit, whether it's trying to get into a sport that I knew very little about how to adapt to, chances are someone's done it before from the same position that you might be in. Innovate, adapt, have a positive outlook, and be nice to the people that are helping you. I'm Cody Piscitelli. Just because something bad happens doesn't mean you can't enjoy the good things in life.